one of the people that we work with at PragerU is a member of the LA Zoo, and she got an email saying, "Hey, we're throwing this drag event in collaboration with Pride Night." And when she clicked the link, they were selling tickets to 2-year-olds, infants younger than 2, and to kids, and saying that they were selling alcohol.
Infants can't even use a computer to click on the buy button.
I know. I don't know why they were doing that, but I saw infants there. But I went and I said, I have to just check this out and see if this is actually going on, because I couldn't believe it. And when I got there, I saw infants in strollers. I saw tons of kids, dozens of kids that were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And I spoke to the director of equity programming before the event, that was adamant that there was nothing sexually charged about it, that it was family friendly. Spoke to the communications director at the zoo, and they said the same thing. This is family friendly. But it was anything but that. It was a glorified strip show. Again, this is adult men dressed up in scantily clad women's clothing that were twerking in front of children. And I subsequently asked those two people, Jess Coring, the equity director, and Carl Myers, the communications director, afterwards, do you guys stand by this? Was this a family-friendly event? And unsurprisingly, they then called the police, tried to get us kicked out, wouldn't answer any questions, said to stop filming them. So that response said a lot to me, that me asking questions was somehow more offensive than men twerking in front of kids. But it was grotesque. It was disgusting.
Wow.
Jeez. And is this something they do regularly, or was this a first one? Do you know?
No, so it was a first. It was in their ongoing, mission to keep having inclusive events at the zoo. I actually had a couple employees of the zoo reach out to me via email and message me on social media afterwards, saying that this has been going on for a while. After the last director of the zoo, president of the zoo, resigned about 4 years ago, and they hired this new director of the zoo. I'm forgetting her name now, but she implemented a new cabinet, an executive cabinet, to take over the operations at the zoo. And these employees describe this cabinet as mostly left-leaning people. Like, they hired Jess Coring and this Carl Myers guy. And when that happened, he started seeing a shift in the zoo, less focused on the animals and more focused on equity and diversity. He said in the last 4 years, they've had no training on the actual animals, and it's all been DEI. It's been about, changing the bathroom, the genders on the bathrooms. And so it's basically been an institution for diversity and equity and inclusion, and essentially just wokeism. This is just one of the examples of this woke indoctrination and this woke infiltration of the LA Zoo. So they're going to keep pushing it. I called Jess, and I called Carl, and I called the zoo dozens of times in the weeks after the event, and to no avail. Couldn't get in contact with them. I left my name and number many times. I emailed them. I didn't get an email back. I think they're mad at me.
And then at PragerU, you have something called the Protecting Innocence Project. What is that?
Yeah, so the entire month of January, we had a campaign about protecting children's innocence. Basically, like I said, we need more people. There's in every part of society right now, children's innocence is being attacked, whether that's through gay literature in our public schools, whether that's through drag shows at zoos, and in public places, whether that's through big tech pushing this LGBTQ propaganda on our kids. So we're at PragerU recognizing the importance of protecting children's innocence. So we started the month-long campaign to make people aware of this, just to spread the word. And we have a pledge that you can find on our website, so you can join the fight with us and help us fight back against these groomers and predators. And we need your help. So go to PragerU.com and sign the pledge and help us in the fight.
Nice. And then quick, what did you find on YouTube? Because you mentioned the thing at the zoo, and then you also found that YouTube is promoting this sort of content.
Yeah, so YouTube, again, is another one of these big tech companies that is promoting the same kind of thing. I wanted to dig in deeper and see just how pervasive it was. So I went on YouTube Kids. I made an account as a child to see what YouTube was pushing the kids in their algorithm. One of the first videos I saw was this one. It was meet a gender non-conforming person. I started looking around a little bit more, and there was dozens and dozens of videos where they're promoting drag shows and drag queens, where they're teaching kids about queer kids, and just quickly...
Meaning of Pride, featuring drag queen Nina West, which was a Nickelodeon Pride song that they released with like the Blues Clues dog.
Yeah, and one of the main...
Queer Kid featuring Desmond.
One of the main accounts that they have, one of the main channels, is called Queer Kid Stuff. It's hosted by this former lesbian and queer who is now a transgender, Lindsay Amer, where they go through every letter in the gender spectrum and teaching kids about the LGBTs, telling them about drag and about transgenders, about bisexuals, and most bizarrely, teaching kids how to consent. And, you know, they say in the video that it's about consenting to kids playing with your toys or trading your lunches. But it's really weird that they are, you know, pushing in their algorithm to 9 and 11 and 10 and 12-year-olds how to give consent, especially under the backdrop of this minor attracted persons movement, which is just pedophilia with a new name on it, pushing for this exact same thing, which is that they're decoupling age and consent. And there are a lot of people out there, and I included in my thread, that they're saying, well, as long as these kids understand the concept of consent, then it's not bad. And so what this really is you have YouTube aiding and you know, really pushing alongside this movement to de-age consent and sex. It's disgusting.